A lot of people are banging on CJ Stroud, the quarterback for the Texans. Timeout. There are only 3 quarterbacks in the world that can overcome bad O-lines and cluster injuries. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson. That's it. This kid, the protection's terrible. And what's funny, it's the same offensive line mostly as last year, and they're awful. Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, they'll win regardless and be productive. It's like Starbucks. You can put it in a grocery store. You can put it in the 4th floor of an office building or Times Square. That's a superstar franchise. It works everywhere. Beijing and Boise, it works everywhere. But even quarterbacks I like, CJ Stroud, Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. You have cluster injuries at receiver, not the same quarterback. You have bad protection, not the same quarterback. There's 3 guys that can overcome this. So I think CJ Stroud's excellent. But the receiving core is decimated. The offensive line now is bad. And by the way, Texans, 20 years you've been looking for a franchise quarterback. Go make a move at the trade deadline and protect this kid. Don't do what you did to David Carr. Go protect him. For the record, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs, the teams you're battling for in the AFC supremacy, are all already paying their quarterback a fortune. And they went and got good players. And not necessarily cheap players. You're sitting there with your hands tied. You're the one not paying your quarterback yet. So I think next year, CJ Stroud's only like a $10 million cap hit or something. I mean, it's like, come on. If the Bills with Josh Allen's contract, with the Chiefs with Mahomes' contract, if the Ravens with Lamar Jackson's contract can go out and upgrade their offense, what are you doing? What are you doing? You only get these great quarterbacks in a rookie deal for a few years. Make a move. Here's D'Amico Ryans about the constant pressure CJ Stroud is facing.
Obviously, we give up 8 sacks, and every drop back or pass situation, it looks like we're in scramble mode, so it's just not good enough when we can't operate on time, and we got to get that fixed. Every time we get sacked that many times is not good enough, right? Don't want our quarterback getting hit as many hits as we took. Is not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time D'Amico Ryans sounds defeated. CJ was sacked 8 times last night, but it's their quarterbacks who I love: Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. When they've had cluster injuries on the O-line or receiver, sometimes with Stafford it's been both at the same time. It's not the same player. So this isn't this kid's fault. They got Tank Dell's their only big-time receiver, and he's probably a 3. They can't protect him at all. I mean, the Jets got now Hassan Reddick now, but they were a little beat up on defense. They were missing some guys. They still got an enormous pass rush.
Did you see they kept the kid Green one-on-one against Quinnen Williams? Like, that's just bad coaching, Colin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting wrecked in the first quarter. I mean, your guy Al Michaels was like, "Oh man, tough night for Green so early," and they never helped on Quinnen Williams. I was stunned.
I mean, Quinnen Williams isn't quite Chris Jones.
Oh, he's in the neighborhood.
Dexter Lawrence, Quinnen Williams, Chris Jones, interior defensive lineman. You can't singularly block. Yeah. You just can't.
Hassan Reddick. Listen, I know he had the ugly holdout and stuff.
He helps.
He was something yesterday.
He helps.
And
the other thing is that you could tell. So Hassan Reddick was something. He'll only get better.
Yeah.
Devante Adams, in the first.
Well, I want to talk. They're going to talk about the Jets. I want to talk about the Texans. I love Colin Cowherd. Favorite guy out there. Favorite show out there. No question about it. To me, it's not even close. But I really so strongly disagree with what he's saying here for many, many, many reasons. Right. First off, nobody should be banging on CJ Stroud. And I know he defended CJ Stroud, but it was still in the way that I still think is wrong. And I'm going to explain. Anyone who's banging on CJ Stroud is confused, delusional, has no idea what's going on. CJ Stroud is a top quarterback in the NFL. He is an unbelievable talent. And the reason why this team is even being held together right now is because of CJ Stroud. The fact that they were even remotely even in this game is because of CJ Stroud, right? Why they've been even winning some games is because of what CJ Stroud has been able to do. I mean, listen to Dan Orlovsky talk about it. He'll say it way better than I ever could, and I've reviewed those clips. I mean, everybody should be, every Texans fan should be thanking the heavens that they have CJ Stroud. Now, the Texans need to do a better job of protecting him. That's obvious. But they did go out and try to give him. They went out and tried to up their run game. They went out and got Diggs. They made concrete moves. Mixon has also been a huge part of this too. So it's really been Diggs and Mixon without a doubt. And that's, and they went out and got him. So it's this idea that they didn't do anything. The injuries have obviously really, really hurt them. But this idea that Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar, that they can overcome all of this, it's not the whole truth. Yes, Josh Allen's physicality, Lamar Jackson's ability to run, right? They can overcome some of these deficits, right? Some of these cluster injuries or lack of weapons for will you. But, and Mahomes as well. But again, we've seen Mahomes' numbers. Mahomes now has no weapons, and we've seen his numbers crash. And yet he still has Andy Reid, though, to work with, and he still has an elite defense. If his defense wasn't elite, he would not be winning these games. So to say that Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen can overcome all these things, and it's just those three, it's just not true. Because even looking at Mahomes in the Super Bowl, that everybody says it was because of his O-line. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes' fault. It was his O-line. 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks for 27, and a rating of 52.3. 5.5 yards per attempt. Did he overcome that? They put up 9 points. Was he able to overcome that bad offensive line? No. So if Patrick Mahomes can't, with literally Andy Reid and still having weapons like Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, etc., if they weren't able to do anything, why are we expecting CJ Stroud to? And if he doesn't, we say, well, it's because CJ Stroud isn't that good. He's not as good. And I'm going to show you another clip that Colin said on his podcast, which is also where this is stemming from. Because you might be like, well, hey, he didn't really say that. Let's just wait.
Oh, there's 3 guys in the world that it doesn't really matter. They're just going to be wildly productive. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. For guys like CJ Stroud, he's closer to a Sam Darnold. I think he's a better thrower of the football than Sam Darnold, and he's a better athlete and a bigger, stronger version of Brock Purdy. But in the end, there's the 3 greats, and then a lot of these guys, it's just circumstantial.
Okay. That is where I have that problem, right? That is where I have that problem. To say that CJ Stroud is closer to Sam Darnold and just a little bit more physically gifted or whatever than Brock Purdy is to downplay CJ Stroud. And that's like the source of my issue. And again, I know Colin means it actually to be complimentary. Like Colin's not necessarily taking shots at CJ Stroud by any stretch of the imagination. He just clearly does not see CJ Stroud as this like top quarterback. I'm sure he probably still has him top 10, but maybe not top 5. Like Colin said the other day about Jordan Love, that Jordan Love is going to be in the arena of Patrick Mahomes, right? That is what he said. I made a video about it. CJ Stroud is in that category as well, where he is going to be in the arena of a top elite quarterback in the NFL. Right? CJ Stroud is special. I think Dan Orlovsky kind of went down the list and said, right now I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, then CJ Stroud. And I think, especially going into this season, it would be a safe bet to list the 5 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, CJ Stroud, and, Jordan Love. And the problem with Joe Burrow is he can't stay healthy. But you throw Joe Burrow in there as well. And it's not to say that it's that order, but it's just to say that these are like, you got these quarterbacks, you don't have a single quarterback issue. You'll be able to overcome whatever things come your way. But I just don't see why we're expecting CJ Stroud to be able to overcome these situations as a way of proof of how elite he is or how great he is. That's my issue, because I don't know really any quarterback that's going to thrive in this situation. I really don't. Lamar Jackson would be able to a degree, because he would just be able to run, and same thing with Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes doesn't run as much, but he would have a smarter offensive mind to be able to work to get short, open up the short game going, have players in space, right? That's what Andy Reid has been doing this whole season. These 5-6 yard throws, getting them on the run so then they can get good yards after catch, top in the NFL, right? There's none of that happening right now with CJ Stroud. It's really, and again, the amount of pressure that he's taking and the sacks is just, it's just outrageous. Someone who's getting sacked 8 times. Josh Allen isn't overcoming that either. Neither is Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Lamar Jackson, because he'll just keep ripping off runs, but it doesn't mean that he's going to succeed. He might avoid being sacked, but it's not like he's going to lead this team to victory necessarily. I don't think that will be the case either. It might look like you have a little bit more of a fight because, again, but if Lamar Jackson has to do that for the whole season, where he's had to do that in the past, we see where that leads. He doesn't make it to the end of the season. He gets injured. So, yeah, I don't know what the Texans do here right now because of the injuries, if there is a move for them to be able to make right now. I assume so, but because even at the start of the season when everyone was healthy, they were still having, O-line problems. So I'm curious where they go here, because I have an insane belief in the Texans and an insane belief in CJ Stroud. And this was a tough game to watch, right? Just to see CJ just be on this island, nowhere to go with the ball, under constant duress, just nonstop. And you see him making plays out of nothing, right? He made some unbelievable throws. He made some Josh Allen throws where he's scrambling all around, fading to the out of bounds and just throwing a dart, right? He made some absolutely undeniably beautiful throws, elite throws, that if you gave him some weapons and you gave him an offensive line, my God, he'll be able to pick you apart. And, I don't know. And again, it's not to say that I like Sam Darnold and I like Brock Purdy, right? I've been a huge defender of Brock Purdy, but I know how Colin views those quarterbacks. And, listen, maybe he sees Mahomes, Lamar, and Allen in this one category, and then the next level is the CJ Stroud. So in his mind, it's like not even necessarily a negative, because it's not hard to say that those 3 quarterbacks are in a league of their own right now, but that's also because they're in their prime right now, right? Like, they're in their true prime right now, and CJ Stroud is not to mention, again, Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. Lamar Jackson now has had some really nice weapons around him this year, especially Derrick Henry, right? Josh Allen, it depends on the season we're talking about, but he's had more support, at least right now. I think Josh Allen has struggled with support as well and coaching as well. We'll see how this season continues to unfold, but they had to go out and get Amari Cooper. The Texans know very well they played Josh Allen, and Josh Allen had his worst game ever, right? He had, what was it, like 8 for 30 or 10 for 30, whatever it was, right? One of the worst games in the history of the NFL for a quarterback. So he didn't overcome that. So it's just tough. It's just tough. I would say that CJ Stroud has been overcoming some of these issues that the Texans have, and yet he's just not going to be able to do it every single game. Just like Lamar Jackson can't do it every single game, just like Patrick Mahomes can't do it every single game, and just like Josh Allen can't do it every single game. And again, I love all 3 of those quarterbacks. I do think they are just top of the top quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes is obviously clearly special. So is Lamar Jackson. So is Josh Allen. And I think CJ Stroud showed that he's special. Has he showed that he is invited to that party just yet? No. But it's more so because of his age rather than him just being closer to Sam Darnold than being closer to Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Like, that's the thing that really kind of just, when I heard that last night, as soon as the game ended, I watched that podcast and I heard that, I was like brushing my teeth, and he says, he's closer to Sam Darnold. And I'm like, what? Did he just say what I think he just said? And I'm like, no. Wait, what? And again, I've defended Sam Darnold. I've made a lot of videos of Sam Darnold, but like, I don't know, man. That just just didn't sit right to me. Again, I love Colin Cowherd. He is the absolute best out there. Favorite show, favorite commentator, broadcaster, and I think he's the most honest and the most genuine and the less fake and the least fake. So I know what he's saying. He's being authentic, and I know that he's saying he's not meaning it for it to be an insult or for it to be a negative. But yeah, I definitely disagree. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Texans and CJ Stroud being closer to Sam Darnold than not? The Texans not supporting CJ. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.